everybody. This is Cassie with Crowd Chat, and it is not 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Time because we had to make accommodations and bump some things around, but all is well. We are here today with Crowd Chat talking about a game called This Game is a Disaster. And today I have my guest Anton Djamoos. I did it. All right. Today we're going to be talking with Anton about the game and how it's related with the Game Crafter and where they came up with the game idea and whatnot. So the first thing I wanted to ask about with This Game is a Disaster is this is kind of a group effort project, I believe, right? It came from
Correct.
the board
Yeah.
game club. If you want to, I'm kind of curious about that. If you want to tell me about that.
Sure. So there's basically three of us and the board game club that have worked together to make this game a reality. There's Bobby, Ben, and myself, Anton, who have been behind the scenes working on the mechanics and getting all the art and making sure that the game is fun to play. And then we've been using the board game club to crowdsource the testing of the game and also to get ideas on the theme of the game and get some ideas on names of the game. Like all the fun parts of designing a game, we kind of had the board game club Facebook group be really integral in making that. So it wasn't just three people owning it; it was more like
That's pretty cool.
3,000.
I've never heard of like a group effort. So was that kind of difficult to manage? It sounds a little difficult to manage and to come up with an actual idea for a game with that many people participating. Or did you have the core mechanic already figured out?
This design for a game, and he and Bobby got together and they decided, like, let's do this. Let's put this thing out there and let's try to make it a reality, because we've all had these ideas of making games in the past. We love board games, and Bobby has this Facebook group, the Board Game Club, which is a really great board game community that started before this game even happened. And then once the two of them got together and started thinking about what they could do to release this game, Bobby thought with it. If people are looking at it, even better if you get so many more eyes looking at it and giving feedback. So that was kind of the genesis of
That's
how it all
pretty neat.
started.
So you had the core,
Yeah.
and then you had all of this feedback. Was it too much feedback because 3,000 people is a lot, or was it not that many people participating?
I mean, it wasn't that many people participating, but it was. It really opened our eyes to things that we hadn't considered in the past.
Ooh, okay.
So, like, just looking at different mechanics in the game, some cases that we didn't get with the two of us playtesting, or the three of us really playtesting. Like, we could spend innumerable hours with the three of us, but when you get to that scale, you really unearth any of the real problems that come out in the game. So maybe in some situations of the end game scenario that we never came across because it never happened organically in the game. And so by having so many people poking away at it, we really got a lot of help there to refine the game and make it as good as we believe it is today.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've not heard of someone having. You hear about people having their playtesting groups, and it's usually like a max of 30, 35 people. But to have like
Right.
1,000 plus is pretty neat, and just like who wants to help and give feedback? That's pretty cool.
Right. So you could say we're the first.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually never heard of it before, so that's pretty cool. So I want to talk a little bit about This Game is a Disaster, and I'm just going to switch over for people to see the Kickstarter. If you want to talk a little bit about the game and tell us what it's about.
Sure. So the game is for 2 to 6 players, and one of the things that's really nice about it is that you could learn the entire game in less than 5 minutes of opening the box, which is really exciting. It's the kind of thing that I like about it, because at work I could play it on my lunch break if I wanted to. But it's really simple, and anyone could play it, really. So the theme of the game is a bunch of disasters. We love 90s disaster movies, and we wanted to have that be the kind of thing that is silly and over-the-top crazy events that happen between you and your friends and the people playing the game. The core mechanic of the game is that you have a 60-card deck, and it's for two. The 60 cards amongst all the people playing the game. Goal is to be the last person with cards. and that will to replenish the cards that you have. So it's a give and take back and see who is the last person left standing with cards.
So it's a pretty quick. I like games like you said where it's a quick. You can play during lunch, during dinner, or if you're going out to a restaurant and you're waiting for your meal, you have just enough time to like get something small in, and you're just sitting around. Sounds like this is that kind of game to break out. And so if it's only 60 cards, is it going to come in a little tuck box or is it a larger box?
Yep. Just a little tuck box. We wanted to make it as compact as possible for portability, as you mentioned. But as the project goes further, it may be the kind of thing where we unlock a new stretch goal in the future to have a bigger box that has more components inside of it.
That's pretty neat. So did you have, coming up with the different disasters, did you have a lot of help from the group? Because I can't imagine, is it 60 different disasters?
It's not 60 different disasters.
That's so many disasters.
We kind of, right. So there's, I don't know off the top of my head how many unique cards are in the game, but there are ones that are used multiple times. So you can get multiple tsunamis launched against you in one game, which is unfortunate. But in terms of natural disasters, there is a limit of the amount of things that we could do. So in terms of that design space, we will have to open it up in the future. But 60 cards is a good number there. We will end up running out of natural disasters.
You're gonna have some like Sharknadoes and.
That's in there right now.
That's great.
Not a Sharknado exactly, but we do have a Twister and we do have a Shark Attack. But we can put them together maybe.
So how did this game as a disaster get involved with the Game Crafter? From what I believe, I remember you were using them for prototyping. Yeah.
So we wanted to print this thing out for one because we'd never done a game before, and it was really exciting just to get a prototype, to feel the thing in our hands and say like, look what we did. We built this thing, and to hold it, it was amazing. It was a great feeling, like when we unboxed it and got to hold the cards and feel like this is a real thing. It was like a feeling I've never had before. Awesome. It was amazing. So we originally used it for prototyping because it was so easy. Like we really liked when we found it, the user interface online was about as simple as it gets. Like you put the card here, this is how many you want, print it, done. So we really liked that compared to all the other things that we had looked at online. A lot of them, we went to the Game Crafter, it was simple.
That's great.
And it was just, it was simple and it was cost efficient for us. Printed out the prototype, and then from there we found all the other options available on the GameCrafter.com. So that was what led us to think like, hey, we can do this, because we had looked into fulfillment with like Chinese manufacturers and other manufacturers overseas, and we talked to a lot that were reputable, and we usually didn't really get a very timely response. And then you have to deal with things like import fees and taxes and customs and fulfillment. And it's a major headache trying to figure that out. And it's our first game that we're building. Like we're just three guys putting together a game. We've never done this before. So when we found the Game Crafter, like it was just so simple, and that kind of unlocked everything for us, that we were just like, we can do this. At the very, like, no matter what, we can just use the Game Crafter. If anything else falls through, this is like the ideal like place to start from. So, and that was basically the point that we said, like, let's do this Kickstarter now because we know that it's going to work.
Kickstarter is funded. So do you have plans for after the Kickstarter, after you've fulfilled and everything, are you going to do you have plans to do like expansions right away, or are you going to do, because I think you said you were considering maybe doing a crowd sale for this game as a disaster or some of your other games down the line?
So in terms of this game right now, our goal right now is just to get it done. We want to make sure that we can successfully deliver what we've promised all of our backers. We want to deliver. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse and say like, okay, we have 6 other expansions planned before we've even shipped the first thing. So our goal right now and our main priority and focus is let's get this done. And then from there we could talk about future things. I mean, we've already talked about different expansions, but we haven't wanted to really hammer down on that yet, because we just want to get this done and make sure that we can do it successfully so that it sets up a foundation for the future of what we could continue doing.
So, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. And you mentioned the crowd sale. In terms of the crowd sale, that was something that we weren't familiar with before we started, and I kind of wish that we were, because like it just seems like that does everything for us. So that could be something that we would explore with either an expansion or the next game potentially, and we'll
Okay,
definitely look into it.
cool. So the game seems pretty straightforward, and I think it's, we kind of touched on everything really quickly that I had questions about. No, it's, it's fine. But I thought it was really cool, just honestly, to learn about the board game club. And if it's okay, I wanted to ask a few more questions about that. How long have you been a member of the club? Were you part of the beginning group, or did you join it a little later on?
So Bobby and I are close friends. So when he started it, I was, I believe, one of the first members he invited. So I've been in it since the beginning. So I've been following it since its early days. Bobby's
Oh,
the
okay.
admin of the group, so he really has all the answers of that one. But yeah, I've been with that since the beginning, and it's a really great community. Like people post, hey, more like on the personal side of the board game community, like from things like, look at this thing that I found at a garage sale, this really rare game that I got for $5, which is cool to see, I think, and I
Yeah.
get super jealous. Or like just pictures of people's collections, which I really
Mm-hmm.
like. It's a really nice community, and it's a great online destination if you're into board gaming.
So it's not just a local area that it's okay.
Oh no, it's global.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. That's kind
yeah,
of what I was wondering is for some reason I was thinking, wow, this is a really large community that they have where they're at, but if it's global, that makes a little more sense.
right.
So I don't really. That's all of the questions that I had really about the game. It's like I said, it seems straightforward. I know it's your first campaign, and it's already well funded, so you're definitely going to be getting this game into backers' hands. Did you have any information that you wanted to share about the campaign or the game before? I had some cool information about the game crafter that I wanted to share with the viewers.
Sure. So the game already passed our funding goal, but we hope that doesn't discourage anyone from wanting to join in. We do plan on adding some stretch goals in the future in the coming days, if not within the next week. So we're really excited about that, and we're not looking to. Our goal with this was not to sell 200,000 copies.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal was to put out something that we're
Yeah,
proud of, and we're definitely doing that. So I'm really excited to have that come. Love the thing that we've built, and I hope that we get to continue doing the same in the future.
that's awesome. Isn't it an exciting feeling when you reach that funding goal and you're like, wow, people actually want this thing, and
Yeah, I mean, we set our funding goal pretty low. I mean, compared to other board games that you see that hit like $200,000 and such, we set ours very low because we wanted to achieve it,
mm-hmm.
and we achieved it within the first day, which blew our
Yeah, I see. It's
expectations totally out of the water.
within the first 12 hours, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and that was at launching at midnight, so a lot of people didn't even see it until they woke up the next morning. So really, I mean, if we're getting specific, it really kind of cleared in the first 4 hours of people really seeing it. So that was
That is
awesome,
awesome.
and it's so humbling, and it's really encouraging also to want to do
That's
more.
awesome. Yeah, that's all great stuff. Well, I'm really excited for you. And like you said,
Yeah.
just because something's funded doesn't mean you shouldn't come and support it because stretch goals are a thing. So the more funding, the better. That's all of the, like I said, those were all of the questions I had for you, Anton. Thank you so much for being on the show. Before I let you go and I let the viewers go, I wanted to briefly talk to everyone about how this is July is the Game Crafters 10-year anniversary, and they're doing a really cool thing where all orders that happen during the month of July are going to be getting a gift certificate in the package that is either $1 to $99. So if you get a game, you will get a surprise in there. And there's going to be an additional surprise. I have no idea what this additional surprise is, but I'm going to show you really quickly on the web. If you go here to the Game Crafters website and you click on news, it will take you right here to this, where you can see that we are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Game Crafter. There's information here where you can learn all about it. So if you have any questions about it, you can learn all about it right there. That is all I have for today on Crowd Chat. Anton, again, thank you for being on the show. And if anyone has any questions, this is the man to go to. You can go and back for $1. You can. What's the base funding goal or the base tier?
The base tier is $13.
13. Okay, so you can back for $1 to leave a question, or you can back for 13 to get a game and leave a question, which is probably a better decision in my opinion. Who doesn't want a game and to leave a comment or a question? Anyway, thank you everybody for watching Crowd Chat at 7 p.m. Eastern this time, and it will be back to our 6 p.m. Eastern time next week. I'm Cassie with Crowd Chat on the Game Crafter. I'll see you next time.